From our condo at Yosemite West, it's a short 10-minute drive to the Glacier Point Road turnoff of Highway 41, and then another 30 minutes or so to the trailhead parking for both Taft Point and Sentinel Dome. We'll take the trail to Sentinel Dome first and explore that area, and then rather than hike back to the parking lot, we'll just catch the Pohono Spur Trail at the base of the dome and take that hike a couple of miles where it joins up to the Taft Point Trail. And then it's another half a mile or so to the fissures and then Taft Point itself just beyond that. This really does make for a fantastic day hike. It lasts between 3 and 6 hours depending on your pace, covers between 5.5 to 6.5 miles, really depending on how much time you spend taking in the jaw-dropping scenery at every turn and exploring a side trail vista or two. It's about 8:40 in the morning. The parking lot's almost full in the 5 minutes we've been here. We are going to take the Sentinel Dome Trail. Visit Sentinel Dome. And then we're going to catch the Pohono Trail spur off of that and head over to Taft Point and make a loop out of it. We've done both of these hikes individually. They're both short 2.2 mile out and back hikes, but we're going to turn it into about a 4-mile loop. Sentinel Dome is where that famous Ansel Adams picture with the craggly old Jeffrey Pine was taken. And the remains of that tree are still up there. You can barely make it through the trees there, but that's the dome. Sadly, the tree died 20 years ago or so after a severe drought. It's always nice to get on this trail a little bit early, or any of the trails for that matter, but especially so this one and the Taft Point, because being only 2.2 miles out and back, they're really accessible trails for most people, so they tend to be pretty popular. And once you get past about 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty busy out here, especially the dome. For some reason, Taft Point doesn't seem to get quite the traffic, but it's an equally epic view, given that there are typically fewer people out there. If I had to pick one, I would do Taft Point. So here's our first really good view of Sentinel Dome. Of course, the rest of the view doesn't suck either. Almost to the base of the dome, and by almost I say a quarter mile. Normally when you get on these flat rock areas and it's hard to see the trail, they put these rock cairns up to mark the trail, but this has turned into something of a cairn cathedral, a tribute to the rock cairn. So if you follow the rock cairns here, you may be in this section a little while if you try to connect the dots. Normally they're just spaced apart so you can just see the next one in the distance, kind of helping you find your way along. Pretty hard to get lost here though. And if the rock cairns don't help you out, there's always the rusty sign that says trail this way. Here's a less windswept Jeffrey Pine than the one that Ansel Adams immortalized in his famous picture. Maybe if I'm properly motivated, I'll go track down a screenshot of the famous Ansel Adams picture and put it here in the video somewhere. You know, this is the type of quality content that all of my YouTube subscribers expect of me now. All 6 of them. Well, I have to assume that's what they expect. They've never actually commented on anything. But in my head, I imagine that's what they expect. Maybe I'll do a video on how I got to 6 subscribers. That might be interesting. Now we're actually at the base. As you can see, super short hike. Taft Point is only another 1.8 miles. There's a little spur down here that catches the Pohono Trail. It goes along the rim, which I have not done. So I'm looking forward to that. Here's one of our trail watchers. Good morning. Now, I'm not sure, but I think that peak right there is probably Cloud's Rest. That water's cold. Ah, not cool. Now I'm gonna get you on video. There she is, the perpetrator. She just poured ice cold water down my leg. Super nice. This is what I'm dealing with here. This is like wartime conditions. I must carry on. Here's some more Jeffrey pines and some random guy. I'm guessing these are victims of the drought, just like the Ansel Adams pine was. So there's a nice view of Half Dome right through the trees. And I believe right behind it, the little peak right behind it, is Cloud's Rest. And those peaks over there are peaks that I can't name for you because I don't know what they are. I know you come here for the best information. I think I previously said that peak right there was probably Cloud's Rest, but I'm now pretty certain that's not the case. Here we have a nice view of El Capitan. Some say the largest single granite wall in the world. Certainly one of them. And there's Upper Yosemite Fall. And just out of sight behind the trees is lower. And just in that little crevice to the left of the falls, you can see the zigzag trail going up there, if you can just make that out. That's the Upper Yosemite Falls Trail. Pretty brutal elevation gain in a very short period of time. But the view is supposed to be worth it. There's a young Jeffrey pine. Maybe in another 500 years, some young aspiring Ansel Adams will make this one famous. The view really opens up once you get up here. There. Now there's no mistaking Half Dome. The cables are on the opposite side. You have to hike up via the Mist Trail, which is just out of sight. To the right, you can make out, if I get over here, the top of Nevada Falls. That's the top of the mist trail. You peel off to the left of that, behind that little dome. You hike around to the back of the big dome and go up the cables if you have a permit. Here's what's left of the old Ansel Adams tree. The crowd is mostly cleared out for now. Rush hour must be over. Now we wait for the mid-morning crowd. Alright, now we're going to take the little Glacier Point trail over to Pohono and then over to Taft. Yeah, Taft Point 2.8. So that's what we're doing. Hoping this will be a little less crowded than the dome. So this is the Pohono Trail. Kind of connects you between Taft Point and Sentinel Dome. And just below us is the 4-mile trail. So we're getting all the great views of 4-mile trail without the relentless beating of the knees on the downhill. This is one of these scenes that video never quite seems to capture the scale of. If I look down here, it's Yosemite Valley, 3,000 feet down there, the green patch. Well, the views on this trail do not disappoint. Well, if you were to slip off this trail, I better hope your tree grabbing skills are up to par. Because there's not a whole lot to stop you other than a rock or a large tree trunk. I guess you'd eventually land on 4-mile trail, or you'd bounce off and continue 2,000 feet down. Inspirational Thoughts by David and Nakia. Oh. She peed on me.
That's what it feels like.
With her frigid, icy pee. I'm kind of glad we're going this direction. This would all be uphill.
Oh, yeah.
If we were going from Taft to Sentinel instead of the other way around. Well, after some really nice, dark, shady forest trail, kind of spits you out right here, right on the edge, for some more epic views. Now, this section of trail is really awesome. Now, that's a magnificent view. This section of Pohono Trail between Taft Point and Sentinel Dome, there's a lot of elevation change in it. Not a tremendous amount, but in a fairly short period of time, we've gone downhill quite a bit coming from Sentinel Dome. So I would say we made the right choice, although I had no idea I was making the right choice at the time. I was doing it based on my crowd estimates. So I would highly recommend this route coming from Sentinel Dome going to Taft Point. And you have a fairly comfortable downhill with some flat spots and lots of shade. But if you go the opposite way, because of the elevation, unless you're used to it, you'll probably be huffing and puffing quite a bit with your heart rate up, because it's, I would say, so far 70% uphill if you were going the opposite way, instead of a light 70% downhill. So, for what it's worth. I think we were getting close to joining the Taft Point Trail, and there's a little trail that jogs off to the right toward this outcropping here. There's nobody here, and it is absolutely epic. Some more beautiful scenery. But I just talked to another hiker a little bit ago who came down from Taft, and they were looking forward to some uphill because they had just come downhill pretty significantly, and that would be the uphill we are just now starting. Either way, I think that was called Roosevelt Point where we were just at. That turned out to be one of my favorite spots on the south rim, especially between crowds. Occasionally you have it to yourself if you wait them out. Cool rock between two rocks. It's a big one. Looks like a horse head. Well, so far the uphills aren't too bad. They seem to level off just when your heart rate starts to get up. Alright, so we just got on the trail. Rejoin the trail to Taft Point. A lot more trail traffic on this trail. And we got about half a mile. Yeah, finally made it to where it opens up to the fissures. A little last downhill scramble here. Little rocks. The fissures are on the right. hopefully. This place opens up quite a bit, so people can kind of spread out and not be all on top of each other. A little bit of a diving board out there. All right, here we go. I think we're coming up on the first actual big fissure. It's pretty cool. And there it is. And we're on the north side of the Taft Point outcropping. And that is crazy view. It's a nice little cool spot. Get out of the sun. Let's look at this mind-numbing drop. I don't imagine this comes out on video. That is crazy. Oh, that was neat. You could hear the wind coming up through the trees about 5 seconds before you felt it. 1,000-foot drop to get your heart going. Making our way out. Goodbye, Taft Point. This is the Taft Point Trail junction with the Pohono Trail. It leads over to Sentinel Dome, Glacier Point, also a 4 mile if you want to split off for that. So we got a half a mile back to the parking lot. That's all we got from here. There's the quartz thing. It's just such a dramatic different color from everything around here. It is all massive quartz. So, according to our GPS, we did 7.66 miles on this loop. And that includes a lot of little sightseeing trips from side to side. So, call it 6.5 miles if you pretty much stick to the trail, which is quite a bit more than I actually thought it was. But right now we got 2 big ice cold Sprites in the trunk, so it's time for a drink. That's the kind of quality content that my Facebook subscribers expect. Did I say Facebook? All right, cut. Take 2. Yeah, so this is the type of cut. Take 3. You know, this is the type of quality content that all my Facebook peeps expect of me now. Mother. Cut. Take 3.
That's 4.
Cut.
Take 5.
Take 6.